Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
It's Clobberin time! Clobberanimo!
Yeah. Hey. Sorry I'm late, folks. A lot of last-minute crap going on there. I apologize. Here we are for Clobby's Wild Card Wednesday night, folks. Clobberin Times number 571 on YouTube. Number 1,271 overall from 14 years of doing this silliness. And it is open Geek night on a Wild Card Wednesday night. Just you and me, kids, hanging out. Geek it off. Doing the geek thing. Let's see. What? There we go. Okay. Oh, sorry, just checking on some stuff there. Got some announcements and all kind of cool stuff to make. But hey, man, hey, friends in the chat, what's up? What y'all doing tonight? Not much of anything. Yeah, me either. Let me do some show notes, I guess. And then we'll do shout outs and just hang out. And let's see here. Let's see. I have some, I guess I got the word out there. Okay. Sorry. Having a bit of issues. Let's see here. No, right. Okay. Sorry, I was just taking care of some last minute stuff there. Yes, some announcements. Let's see. My buddy, I believe my buddy Jason Sandberg is in there. You're in the chat, man. Yes, from what we wrote, 15th is great. I'll be our good buddy Jason Sandberg. I've been messing up. First of all, I messed up the schedule and totally threw him off last week when I thought he'd meant. Well, I thought it was going to be a certain day, and it turned out to be a different day, and I messed him all up. And he was very nice enough to come on that night anyway, a couple of weeks ago. And then I forgot some other scheduling because it's been so long. I forgot, and I got the month wrong on another event that I've been planning for over like a year and a half. That I should announce. So let's see. Of course, tomorrow night the clubhouse. Hopefully, Mark, I don't know if Mark will be here tonight, but if he can, we hope he will be. And Raquel. Let's see. So next Monday night, our Mr. Jason Sandberg will be joining us again, talking about, of course, his great comic that I backed. Sorry, that noise. My phone thing's going off. His comic Jupiter. There it is. I had to find my picture of it. His crowdfunding comic that's on Jupiter. And by the way, if anyone could get that link in the chat, if you're not back Jupiter yet, I'm looking forward to it, and everyone is and stuff like that. I appreciate that, Jason, but man, I just am mad at myself for having a shitty memory. But so this Monday, The 15th, Jason will be hanging out with me again. We'll be talking about, again, Jupiter, the comic that he has going on, this crowdfunded comic that I have backed. And I'm looking forward to this. And I have other friends who have talked about it that are really looking forward to it as well. And in a week from Monday night, something that has been in the works for a long time, I'm proud to announce that the great Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic will be joining me to talk all things comic shops. A couple of comic shop owners, yes, the comic shop owner cabal, are going to be getting together, and we're just going to, on Monday Night Mark C Comic Talk, we're going to talk just about what it was like to own comic shops. And Gary, of course, has been such a good pal to me, and he's such a good pal to all of us. He does so much for us, those of us who stream. He's the big daddy. I love Gary. He's just been so nice to me, and just a great down-to-earth guy. I want him to get that. I hope he opens that comic shop one day that he's talked about, that he opens again. And if he does, I'm going to make a road trip if he ever opens that comic shop. So that will be a week from Monday night, the 22nd. So I'm looking forward to that, and I can't wait. And I want to thank Gary for that. That's a busy man right there, and I'm a nothing channel. I'm a nothinger, and for him to come on, hang out with guys like me, it just shows what kind of guy he is, and I appreciate him. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're just going to talk what it was like in our comic shop days, because we both owned comic shops, not only in different parts of the country, but also at different times in the industry. So it should be fascinating. And I cannot wait. And again, I thank Gary so much for that. Also, let's see. We'll do the shout outs, and then we'll get down. We don't have much to do tonight other than hanging out. But I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Of course, our great wrenches, whether they're here or not, they get the shout out as always. The great Eric K. Eric K. vibing out to you there, brother. We love you, man. The Bronze Wrencher. The great Chris Persia. Vindicator Wrench of the North. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. What's up, bro? Can't wait to hang out again one day. Let's see here. Lord Thoth. And I'm sorry, I'm getting some messages. I'm sorry, I'm getting a very important message. So I apologize to you for the nothingness going on here for a second. But I was just doing some confirming there. All right. And of course, Lady Thoth and Avon lives, long live the Legion buddy, the great J-Man. My partner in crime on Earth B. Fellow Legionnaire, reviewer extraordinaire, and the Wrench without fear. Hungry boy, master of the club-owning comic book artist extraordinaire himself, and painter of the cover of Science Fiction Tales by Commander R.M. Briggs. Super Wrench Kal-El, here's the Wrench Supreme. Nemati's daddy Thor from Vegas. Village of Wrench Mjolnir. And of course, Fancy Outsider. Good to see you old rascal. And let's see who's in the chat. Say our hellos to our friends who are in the chat now. Let's see. I got to run this thing back a little bit. The aforementioned Jason Sandberg. Hey, buddy. Thank you so much. Has been digging the Astro City post. Oh, thanks, man. I've gone back and I've decided I've been like bits and pieces of my Astro City, like picking and choosing some. And now I'm just going to go ahead and just do a straight line read on them, all of them again, because it's been that time. So I've been back doing that and just loving it. Astro City. I talk too much about it. I drive everybody crazy around here talking about how much I love Astro City, but it's just the truth. I do. And I'm glad you're enjoying that. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Who else is here? Brian Hepburn. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Wagner. Hey there, buddy. JT Kirk. Good to see you there, man. Bush Pan Down. Hello there. Hello there. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Could not be reached for further comment. Pat S., what's up, buddy? Yeah, I apologize for the late start there. Could not be reached. It was just, in this case, it just could not be helped. Sometimes I have so much going on. I was on with Loki earlier, and some other stuff just kind of piled up at once at the last second there. I had another memory shock, similar to the way I had that damn memory shock. Jason, it ain't you being the bad luck either, buddy. It's me, but it's just, that's twice on you, and I'm so sorry, dude. I hate when my memory does that. I mean, I know you're cool about it, and everyone's always cool about it, but man, I'm freaking out how bad my memory is. John Arupa Ruggy. Let's see. Anybody else? Darcipia, what's up, dude? Good to see you. And that's all the people that I see have popped in so far. Yes. Well, everybody's out. It's a big crowded night out there on the streams. I'm sure we'll get a lot of friends popping in later. Everyone seems to be streaming right now. And that's okay. Hey. But yes, it'll be fun to talk to Gary about owning comic shops and the comic book industry and the art form of the business, the way it was back when I started doing it, as opposed to when he was doing it. No, I got you. Could not be reached. I appreciate you, buddy. I know what you mean. I hear you. I read you on FM, pal. But it'll be interesting to talk to Gary. I'll get his perspective because Gary ran one in San Francisco, which that's the big leagues right there. I mean, it's not like this penny ante crap down here. Especially, down here the shops are nothing compared to the ones over there. And back then, this was the dawn of comic shops when I started. I was the first ones. There were no comic shops down here when I started it. And so it was kind of just getting started. However, the thing is, whereas he was in this gigantic market with a big, definitely a much more complicated business to run on his part. I did have the privilege to be in not just the outset of the comic book business, but the comic shop at its, basically when the art form was going through something of a renaissance. D-Bud says, who didn't own a comic shop in San Francisco? Well, you did, of course, D-Bud. You did, but I'm the only one that did. No, mine was in a podunk. Comparatively speaking, of course. Yeah, so anyway, but there were fascinating times because the industry was going through so much different, stuff. Probably on the comic shop, Chris Berger thought you were a nasty habit, Patrol. I'm afraid I don't know what that is. That means there, Mr. Phantom Outsider. Fancy. Whatever do you mean? Oh, dear. What's going on out there in the world? Nothing? Something? No, nothing. Nothing's going on in the geek world. I don't really tackle the news anyway. There are those far more capable of tackling all the news than I. I know we'll usually get a lot more people piling in later. This is early. It's always a weird, awkward time on a Wednesday night. So, but I have to keep my schedule. Thought of me broadcasting on Wildcard Wednesday night. But I am trying to think of man, I had so many comics I wanted to review. Don't start, Fanty. I know what you want me to review, and I will. And I just keep, because it means bugging somebody to say, hey, you want to review so-so? Let's review that comic. Let's review this. Let's review that. And I don't like to bug people, taking people's time that much. That's why I feel so humble about Gary. That's a busy man right there. Everybody's always trying to get him to come on the show. And just such a cool dude to do that, man. He's amazing. And I can't wait. But it's still, you feel bad, like, man, I'm bugging people to come on my Nothing Little show. But we'll have a good time because, again, I don't know if he gets to talk comics. He doesn't get to talk comic shops much because every time he mentions it, all you guys pick on him about it. Well, that night when he's here, you're going to all have to make fun of us all you want. We're going to talk about comic shop memories. And so I can see it in the chat now. You guys own the comic shop? No. Well, there's some interesting things to talk about that happened at comic shops. All my best times happened at comic shops. Well, not all of them, but almost all of my best friends. A gigantic chunk of all the best friends I've had, let's put it like that, I've made at comic shops, and in some cases some other geek venues, but at comic shops a lot. D-Bud said, speaking of comics, Titan has their free comic book day Comic Zero available. Conan Zero available for free download. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. There you go. I think Claude got one of those. Yeah, J-Man's doing a great job. He's reviewing some. Man, he's gone deep dive back on the original Superboy comics, which is cool. Yeah, just is so much. There's the thing. There's so much great new stuff. New stuff. That's an idiot. Old stuff. So much great old stuff to go back and review that that I either haven't read in a long time or in some cases never got around to reading before. Yep. I just don't even, for the most part, can't even look at new stuff. That's why I'm having such a great time going back, doing that deep dive on Astro City, you know. But yeah, D-Bud, I heard that. I think that's what Claude told me. I said it looks like there's a similar look to John Buscema, Conan. Well, John Buscema and Conan, man, they go together. I like Ernie Chin inks myself, although, you know, Alfredo Alcala. Great inks as well if you're talking about Savage Sword of Conan. You know. And so, but that's the thing. It'll be great to talk to Gary about comics. Just not just the comic shops itself, but just talking old comics, man, because there's not much to talk about with new comics. Other than, hey, give you an example. I have, there's a, you know, the site I always kind of backhandedly mention that we use, that we get when we do our reviews, that we show the comics that we're talking about online. Well, there's a site that puts everything, I mean, no matter how new it is, it goes up on that site. Even the new stuff. So I have looked at a few new things recently. And I did see one that was, you know, J-Man's actually reviewed some of these. And so I looked at some of the ones he's talked about. And it seems to me that once in a while, something slips through the cracks at DC, at least. Maybe not so much Marvel. That someone lets get through there that just, for better or worse, it's just a comic book. Could not be reached for further comments. Says, speaking of old stuff, Clobberin Times, ever hear of Nycalope? If I'm saying, I'm butchering that pronunciation, and I apologize. Nyctalope, Nycalope. I'm such an imbecile. A French pulp hero from 1911, possibly the first superhero ever. I've seen that name, but I've never pronounced that word, so I know very little, if not, pretty much nothing. Could not be reached for further comment. Is there anywhere that has reprinted anything? I mean, is this a comic? Because if it's from 1911, it must be like a pulp character or something, right? No, I mean, I would need more. Did you see Major comment? Let's see. JT Kirk says, did you see Major Grin's video today proving metal ass? Oh, didn't know anything about the TNG bug aliens for conspiracy. No, I didn't see that. I'll have to take a look at that. Claude Salling, hey there, good to see you, my friend. Dorsibio says, Comics Division knows his comics as well. He absolutely does. Mr. Comics Division is a fine fellow, and I've been over there on his show. I was very honored to be on his show a while back, a couple times actually now, and he's an awesome dude. I really like Comics Division. Great bunch of guys over there. We all love Toxic Man Flu, of course. D-Bud says, "Yep, oh yeah, yeah. I want to ask him about some of his memories doing comic shops, and this will be a comic book shop owner ridicule free zone that night. Well, you can ridicule me, you just can't ridicule my guest. That's all. Me, fair game, but not Gary. You're gonna have to be nice to Gary, all of you, especially Eric. Eric K is not here at the moment, but we'll definitely have to get Eric. Definitely, was it Eric K's got to be nice to Gary that night. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, means having good night vision, but I'm having trouble pronouncing it, I must admit. French pulp character. Well, it had to be a pulp character. There were I don't think there were any comics at that time. Not really, at least other than Alcal and Little Nemo and things like that, maybe. So anyway. But no, you got me on that one. On could not be reached for further comment. You got me, sir. You got me. Anyway, our buddy J-Man does review some new stuff from time to time. And he reviewed a new comic that Claude and I were talking about. And I don't know why. Look, it just goes to show you that somebody I trust can at least maybe get me to take a look at something. But if it's a new comic, usually I will look at it. If I open a page, it's not going to take long for me to go. The covers are usually enough to make me go, ugh. This, of course, had a really nice cover. It's a book called Superman Lost. I have not picked up a new Superman comic in decades in a long time because, my Superman's way, way back. So I was told that it doesn't take place in any modern DC continuity. And it's just a Superman story. It's got a particular concept to it. There are like 3 issues out now. Cover was good, and and I'm going, wait a minute. He's got he's got the right costume. That's weird. I think he's even got the S in the back of his cape. What? A modern Superman comic where he's got the right costume. So I'm skeptical, and I looked at the I haven't bought it or anything, but I went and looked at it online. It's already out online. First 3 issues. Don't look at me. I don't know why. So I went to look at it. I was been reading a bunch of Astro Studios today, but I went to take a look at this comic. And I started when I opened up, when I went to the first page, my eyes didn't start bleeding or anything. I thought the cover looked pretty good. I think obviously they're variant covers. I haven't seen them all, but Joe Quesada for some reason did the cover. When did he start drawing anything again? And for DC, I don't know. Anyway, interesting cover. So I start looking at this book. And I guess it's because I've been reading a lot of Astro City. The art looked a lot like Brett Anderson from Astro City. It does. Of course, it's not. This thing is written. This is how out of it now I am. There was a time I could look at any art and tell you who did it. There was a time there's no name of a writer or an artist or an inker that I did not know when I would look at the credit page. But aside from some of the names on some of the variant covers, I don't think I knew any of these people. But it looked competent. The pages looked like a competent comic book story. So I start flipping, and I start reading it. And lo and behold, yeah, it's Superman's married to Lois, but that's something I never liked much, but that's one thing. Superman looks normal. I mean, he looks like Superman. And he's got the right costume. I'm like, that's weird. This isn't. And I was told, no, this is not literally taking place in any kind of particular modern DC. Because I can't look at any of this crap the way these characters look now. I don't know. Maybe I was having a lucid dream there, Bush Band down. Dave C, what's up, buddy? So I got. So I move along in the story, and listen, art's not bad. And look, it's not that I'm picky with that art. I'm not picky with older art, but if it looks like some of this modern crap I keep seeing, I'm like, no, I can't. It's good. It's a deal killer. And then they never have the costumes are also, and the characters are all. It's just everything. They don't. But anyway, I'm turning the page, not hating the way it looks. Reading the comic. This is. I was told that this is different. And not too far into it, we get the Justice League. And they look like the Justice League. Pretty much. There's some slight moderniness to some of the costumes, but it's not outrageous. They're not crazy. Not crazy about Wonder Woman's look, but it's close enough. It's not too far off to aggravate me. Batman actually looks like Batman. Aquaman actually looks like Aquaman. And John Jones, not that fond of that look. But they look like the freaking Justice League. Flash looks like Flash. Almost like it could be Barry Allen. I don't know. It's like they weren't saying. And more importantly, Superman looks like Superman. So like this, they're not going to suck me into this sucker. And while I'm reading it, one thing I noticed is they weren't sitting around at a coffee shop talking about their fifis. They were doing something. And I know the premise going into the... I was informed of the basic premise of this comic. It's called Superman Lost. And apparently, this is not spoilery, apparently we find out that by the end of the book, something happened in this alien ship that they'd found at the bottom of the ocean. Somehow he gets sent off. And when he comes back, it's only a few hours for Lois, but it's 20 years for him. That's apparently and she's pissed off at Batman about it. Okay, interesting premise. Sounds interesting, I guess. I mean, not groundbreaking or anything. Something we've seen in other things, but I don't know. We'll see. So the premise was enough, and they look like themselves. And it's been said that it's not taking place in the modern filth verse of DC. So let me look at it. I'm not buying this thing. I'm not going to spend any money on a DC comic, but anyway. Okay, so sorry about that. We have some questions. Bush Pan Down says, what's your favorite Superman run? Mine, I don't know if we could pin it down to a run. My Superman exists between 1938 and 1986, the one I love the most, the Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age Superman. So almost nothing after that even gets any attention for me. But if I had to say my favorite contiguous story of Superman, believe it or not, takes place after that era. That's the paradox. That's the contradiction. And that would be All-Star Superman, which I dearly love. Darcipio says, hey, Clobby, the Thing versus Hulk, mano a mano, who would win? My money is on the green fella, just asking. Hulk's stronger. I'm a Thing guy, but Hulk is stronger, so usually he ends up getting the better of Ben. But there have been times when Ben have managed to get the better of him. Ben can hold his own enough to find some crazy way to win it, but, yeah, agreed, Jason, that's right. All-Star Superman is timeless. So I love it, and it's the only time that Superman's been written in the modern era to my satisfaction over a course of one great long story. So I really do love it. I love the animated movie, but it doesn't do it justice because they had to truncate it so much. So I have to, I'm a Ben Grimm guy there, Darth, but Hulk, he's stronger. Hulk smash. Hulk is the strongest one there is. Bush Pan, yes, that would be about right. All-Star Superman from 2005. I love it. And like I've said, and this I forgot to mention, I'm challenging myself. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to make this happen by the summertime. I'm going to count down my top 25 all-time favorite comic book stories. Hey, Bush Pan Down. I mean, I hope you like it. If not, you could just go read it online first. And go to that site and read it online, see if you like it first. But that's up to you. But if you, hey, it's a great book. So, I mean, I think it's great. But yes, this is going to happen. I'm still committed to this. But man, it's tough. I've got the first 10 mapped out, but I want to count down 25. Oops. All right. And it's not going to be easy. Oh, I understand, Bush. Hey, not everybody likes. Look, I know a lot of people don't like digital. I've gotten old. My eyes are so screwed up right now. Of course, if I read the digital, I want the physical copies too. But I do admit, a lot of times I can't. My back starts to hurt. I get out. My eyes start to burn up when I'm trying to read like a regular size print now. Just old, man. I'm just old and fat. So I can sit at this desk and read comics on the computer like so much quicker, so much faster. For me, it's easier to read comics this way now, like looking on the computer. But if I love the comic, I'm gonna have the physical copies as well. But I have a couple of friends like that too. Some of us old folks, some of them use like iPads, different things like that, because you can blow up the panels, you can see it a lot better. So, I'm all about the physical copies. Oh yeah, Phantom, yeah, it was. But I'm going to make my top 25 happen. Someone asked the other night what the criteria is. It's going to basically be stories. The word stories is the key. A story can be one issue. This monster, Fantastic Four number 51 being a great example. The Coming of Galactus would be a story, and that's a 3-parter. All-Star Superman, I would call that a story. It's a 12-issue miniseries. Watchmen, I would call Watchmen a story. Whereas Born Again, I would call a story. It's 7 issues out of the regular run, but it's still a story. It's one saga. The Kree Skrull War, I would call a story. I'm just throwing out examples. I'm not saying any of these will be on there or not, though some of them will. The Great Darkness Saga, I would call a story. The Dark Phoenix Saga is a story. And some of them are sagas, they're stories. But again, also one-offs, one issue can be. So that's how the criteria could be. It can be like, for example, at number so-and-so, the Great Darkness Saga. And then the next one might be a one-issue, one-off comic I read that I love. A lot of them are, so I have some short stories on there. There are a lot of Astro City. Yes, I love Astro City. There are a lot of Astro City. I can't speak. A lot of Astro City stories on here. But so I wouldn't take an individual issue out of Watchmen to put it on there. It's all in one. On the other hand, an individual issue of Astro City or Daredevil or FF, they would go on. They're eligible as well. Kingdom Come, one story. So the ones that are sagas, like the miniseries and stuff like that, they go together. I won't pull anything out of them. The ones, that's basically the way it's going to work. So that's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one, but we're going to make it happen. Yeah. So, and of course, again, tomorrow night, and the clubhouse, we'll have Raquel and hopefully Mark on, and we will review another UFO, and of course, Tales of Tomorrow. Oh, and I knew I forgot something. I forgot to thank J-Man for hanging out with me Monday night. I know he's gone now. Man, what a time we had on Earth B, reviewing our latest Bob Haney. That's the new scheduling for Monday nights. I'm going to be on 2 shows every Monday night now. In addition to my own, which is always going to be 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. 3 nights out of the week, I will be reviewing Legion of Superheroes with my great buddy J-Man's channel. We're reviewing every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes from get-go, from 1958 to 1989, and it stops there because after 89, I don't care. And we just started that, so that's a lot of fun. But the B Monday of every month, we're going to be on Earth B on my channel, reviewing Bob Haney, another Bob Haney classic next month. This was a lot of fun. This was one of the most bonkers stories he ever did. So that was a lot of fun there. I can't believe I forgot to mention that, but yeah. So, yeah. And I even forgot to mention we have a Saturday Night Star Trek this week. 1 more episodes. See, when I did my show notes, I just cut it short. I don't know why. What the hell's wrong with me? You think it's been a long day or something, and it hasn't. It's been nothing. I didn't even do anything. Did I? Phantom Outsider says, the Avengers story, The Assassin Strikes, and The Assassin Never Fails, Avengers 144 and 145, was an interesting filler because regular story was running late. Hey, if you got some suggestions, Fanty, you want to send me or whatever like that, I'll definitely look at some of them for sure, because I'm going to take some time to do this list, because sometimes there's nothing worse when you make one of these lists and you forget something. And there will be nothing worse than like if I make this list and then someone says, hey, did you read that story about, and I go, oh crap, I remember really liking that, but it's been so long. Maybe I should have went back and gave that a look before I made this damn list. Damn it, son of a bitch. So, yeah, maybe. So I will definitely look into that. There's so many Avengers stories. So the thing is, there's so many FF stories, but they do along in the top 25. There's some great ones. The art always belongs to the top 25, of course, by Kirby. There's so many great ones. They got to stand out, and you want some. You could do a top 25 list of the FF alone, and there almost all of them would come from the Kirby era. Just for me, not all of them. You said almost all of them. And but there's so many. When I set this up, hey Matthew Pounder, what's up, buddy? When I set this up, I forgot there's some stories I need to go back and brush up on. Just to be sure. Although I got the first 10 mapped out, I'm going to change some around a little bit because I haven't done this one in a long time. I used to have so much fun doing these top 25 lists. They are fun. And I got some other ones planned for the year, later, like in November, it's going to be all Doctor Who month. August is Jack Kirby month, and this year, because of the 60th anniversary, no matter how bleak it is, we're not going to be bleak here. We're going to celebrate love for Doctor Who the right way. So November will be Doctor Who month. Yeah. What are you going to do? So, anybody else? Sorry. What was? Oh, man, did Guardians of the Galaxy fizzle? It's not really doing that well. People keep saying it's not going to be doing that well. Anybody else go see that? Nobody wanted to go see it. It's amazing. And my boy Loki didn't even like it. A lot of people don't, though. A lot of people aren't liking that movie. I think it might tank. Poor Disney. Even though I liked it, I don't give a shit if it tanks or not. But, we'll see. At least Mark got his popcorn box out of it. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have got that popcorn box. Nah, it'll go down to $25 eventually. $50 is ridiculous for that. Fanty says Avengers versus Doctor Doom versus Atlantis story was also nice. Also, Kirby covers 153 through 156. Yeah. Then the Ghost of Stone Black Knight, number 57. Bush Banner says, what would you name a new comic shop? The name of my old comic shop was Mega City Comics. And I named it that back then because I was just such a big Judge Dredd fan. If I open one right now, it would be, what the hell are you thinking, you idiot? You should not be opening up a comic shop comics. No, I'm just kidding. Bush Pan Down, that's a good question. And you know what? I'm going to come up with a name right now. Bugger. Bugger. Because everything's been done now, probably. I mean, I like that, JT Kirk, sitting on the edge of Forever Comics. I like that. That's good. Bush Pan Down says we need a Judge Dredd stream. Yeah, we've had one before. Well, what we did was my buddy J-Man about a year or two ago now. We did one about the Judge Dredd Carl Urban movie, which I was the only person on the planet that did not like it back when I first saw it. And then after like 10 years, I decided to give it another chance and see if I would feel differently about it. Because boy, did I hate that movie when it came out. And everyone loves that movie. I know, look, I'm fully aware that everyone loves it. And we did one to see if I would change my mind on it. And it's been a couple years now. So I can't remember if I did or not. I'm not even kidding. I can't remember if I changed it. Because I spent so long hating it. Going against the grain. My favorite comic shop was Bonanza Books and Comics, says Darcipio. I don't know that one, but that's a cool name. I like that name, Bonanza Books. Did you do that every time you walk into that store? Was Hoss and Little Joe in there? There's a Matthew Pounder's got a name for his shop. Nothing after 80s comics. Call it Nothing After 80s Comics. No. That's what he says. Nothing After 80s shop is what he wrote. But I'm saying maybe it should be Nothing After 80s. It could be that. Leave the word shop off or comics off. Called Nothing After 80s. No, I'm just I'm just kidding. Let's see. There's a name for D-Bud's got a name, Old Comic Book Smell. Would that be the name of your shop, D-Bud? I think it would be. Well, that's an interesting question. Bronze Comics. No, because we're gonna have some gold and silver age too. Astro Comics. Oh, since I love Astro City so much, I wouldn't get in trouble. No one reads Astro City but me. Astro Comics. I couldn't push it and say Astro City Comics, which there is. Obviously, Astro City does have a comic shop. They even have a Comic Con. No, though, yeah. Astro Comics, I might do that just as a nod to Astro City. I don't know. I'm not sure what I would name it now. I don't know. The first comic shop I ever worked in to help start was called Southland Comics. And then I worked in a BSI Comics and I can't remember the other name of the one. A couple of the other ones that I ran and helped start up for a while, but mine was Mega City Comics. And I don't know if I would go back to that name again. Because now I hear that I think they have some. I think they're since been Mega City Comics since I started mine back when I started in 1988. Yeah, nod to Astro Boy as well. Yeah, I hear you. But Darth Scipio wins the day. That's it. Clobberin Comics. You named it. I will never open a comic shop again, Darth Scipio. But if I did, The sign would say Clobberin Comics, and I would put like I would have your name under it. I would put like a little bitty thinking of signature of your as a tribute to you. Could not be reached for further comics would be yours, says would be his, says or I guess would be mine, says could not be reached for further comment. That'd be a good name. Could not be reached for further comics. I like it. I like that for a comic shop. But yeah, I don't know why, man. Look, Clobby's Comics or Clobberin Comics. I might go Clobby's Comics. Either way, Darth Scipio would get the credit. Thank you, Darth. I don't know. It was right under my nose. Snake, it would have bit my face off, and you threw it out there for me. That shows how senile I'm going. The way I schedule things and screw things up now, I am freaking. I'm gone, man. It's how I can remember stupid shit from 1972, but I can't remember crap from 2 minutes ago. Or even, I know that's the way it works. I get it, but I might forget how to breathe one day. Like, hey, you're supposed to be breathing there, chump. Oh yeah. Well, I forgot that for a minute. I think I do forget to breathe sometimes. I don't know. Melodramatic. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Places I frequent: Little Shop of Comics, Boyhood Dreams, Quality Comics, All American Comics, Comic Fortress, only still open. We had an all American Comics down here, and not too far from it, there was a More Fun Comics. So they were having like a golden age thing, We have comics. Some buddies of mine still have a couple of shops called Crescent City Comics. A buddy of mine sold his comic shop to dude. It's changed hands like 3 times. That was BSI Comics down here. That is. Another friend of mine has one. 3 Alarm Comics. Shout out to them, of course, out there in Ocean Springs. And let's see. Another friend of mine has one over. What's it? A couple. Well, I got friends with a lot of friends with comic shops. They're all over the place. Can't remember all of them. But yeah. But it's down here into nothingness. Comic shops don't do that well down here. We got one guy that has a fairly successful one, and there are 2 in our city for some reason. But New Orleans only has a few, less than you would think. And they all have to carry other crap, let's face it. I remember when I used to go to Atlanta every year for Dragon Con, Labor Day weekend. One of the things that we would do in addition to going to a con, going to the con itself, is we were staying there with a friend of mine who lived here, but he had lived here, but now he lives there. And so we bunked with him, and it was he lived about 30-something minutes outside where the con was. So when we would leave on Friday afternoon or whatever first day of the con, we were there. And Friday and then Saturday we do it again. We would go hit some comic shops and bookstores and stuff, as geeks are often want to do. And I remember this again. I went for almost like 20, 24, 23 years, whatever it was, without ever missing Dragon Con, except for one time during for a hurricane. Other than that, I had a long streak of going, and it got monotonous. But anyway, that was again every year Labor Day weekend. So I would we would go hit. That was a big thing with us. We'd go hit the comic shops, and they had one there. The comic shops there, and this is Atlanta. Atlanta is bigger than we are. Are just unreal compared to the ones we have here. And of course, there's probably nothing compared to the ones you go in even bigger cities. The ones I've been to some great ones in Dallas. I just haven't been to a lot of big cities to go look at comic shops, which I would love to do. So, but for us, it was pretty big. So much so, at that time, for those years, I was still collecting current comics. And I would go to this shop, Oxford Comics. I guess they're still there. And they had a wall, pretty long wall of comics with these shelves, and they would each title. These were they weren't bagged and boarded. The titles that weren't bagged and boarded yet, and they carried everything too. They carried every statue and every toy and every mag, every comic. They carried every title. They weren't sparse on their ordering system like I used to be, and like you have to be down here. They ordered They weren't frugal in their ordering. So let's say a title that you may have collected for a while, on and off, but you missed a couple here and there. It got so that like throughout the course of the year, if I'd stop buying a book and I decide I wanted to go back and get it, I'd say, well, I'm going to be in Atlanta in a couple of months. I'll just go there. And I would go there, and sure enough, I would not only would the past, like the current issue be there, but in that bin, and I'm being not bagged and boarded, just cover price in the bin, it was kind of a deep enough shelf for it to go back 4, 5, 6 months. So I can go, if I missed a book or wanted to backtrack on a book, I could go in there and get the last 5, 6 months of that comic without having to, again, go to the back issues or all that kind of crap. I'd just be sitting there. And I almost always had it. Almost always. I'm like, yeah, I want to get this title. Or if it's one I just was kind of on the fence about, but I could go there and it wasn't bagged and boarded. I can go flip through it. And so I used to wait when I would go there once a year. And I would get stocked up on some comics that for whatever reason passed me by or they ran out at my local store. Because, you have to you had to, even then in those days, the comic shops here that I went to had to order pretty close to the vest. You had to watch your ordering. Even then, it's not like now. I'm talking about late 90s into the 2000s and so and into the 2010s. So when people were still kind of buying some comics, not like today, nobody's buying shit. So it was kind of cool. It was like, man, yeah, if I knew I needed a book, I could go. I couldn't find it around here, and then I didn't want to freaking order it. I could just go grab it when I go hit a couple of those shops in Atlanta, and 9 times out of 10, I'd be able to find it. Those days, ease over, but the desire to buy any new comics is pretty over anyway. So, and now I don't even know. I guess those shops are still there, but nobody buys modern crap. So I don't know what they're doing. Are they getting stuck with a bunch of crap? Because I know that's, with the comic shops just ordering too much, getting stuck with stuff now. That's a whole different ball game now. Fanty says, one of the most interesting was a store near Newark Airport. A guy was an electronics inventor. He worked on electronic components and has 23 patents. He sold old comics at incredibly reasonable prices. That's my kind of place. No name on the storefront. He just liked having people come in to talk. He said if all he did was circuits, he'd have gone crazy, eventually retired and went to Florida, like a lot of people. Hey, Warrior of Justice. Welcome. Good to see you. Late 80s for less than 50. I got like 30 issues of Tales of Suspense. Oh, my goodness. And a Captain America 100. Less than $50. You got 30 issues of Tales of Suspense and a Captain America 100. That's top notch there, but that's nice. And you're right, Fancy. That's why those places now sell magic cards and pops. All of them do. And down here, big deal is a lot of them sell the sports cards. One of the things when I was this started kind of in the late 80s into the early 90s, where some of these other shops and my competitors, they started selling sports cards big, baseball mainly, but some other ones too. But baseball cards were big, and they were combining them with their comic shops. And when I started mine up in the 80s, I put these flyers out and these advertisements said, hey, no baseball cards here, just comics. And a couple of the guys who had those shops, whom I'd known, they bought comics from me earlier, and years earlier, at shops that I'd run. They were pissed off at me for saying, because they had, I think Minimus made me a flyer that said no baseball cards to hide behind. And I let it, and they were mad. What do you mean hide behind baseball cards? And they were all pissed off. You shouldn't say that. I said, look, dude, no, I don't like baseball cards. I have nothing against them, but I don't want to sell them. Warrior of Justice, that's a good question. Right now, not much of anything. I'm just talking about some comic shop stuff. So baseball cards, I was like, wasn't going to mess with those. Now again, look, if that's your thing. But a lot of them needed it, I guess. And they did. I mean, down here, they kind of needed it. Brian Hepburn, what's up, dude? Yeah. Baseball cards are better than Funkos. Yeah. Funko Pops now are just their landfill. Wow, and they were all very good condition. Also got still have a Tales of Suspense 49. Whoa. First Marvel crossover, Iron Man versus Angel. That is the first crossover book. Wagner says the new issue rack at my local comic shop is about 1/3 full. No one wants new comics anymore. No. I mean, look, I walk in there, and of course, when I mess around with the guys, running the shops, when I say, "Who's buying this crap?" Oh, people are buying. Well, you're going to say that, aren't you? Yeah, we know people are buying some of it, but I don't know, man. You got a lot of stuff on these racks, other than your folders. You're ordering too much. Monkey Jeebus, what's up, buddy? Warrior of Justice says, any new comic books you like to read now, Clobberin? I myself are reading old books from back in the day. Yeah, I'm reading mostly old stuff. I take a look once in a while when a friend wants me to just to look at something. Like I said, I took a look at that first issue of Superman Lost. Hey, Dad Man, what's up, buddy? Dad Man and the Dad Man clan. Well, good to see you there, buddy. Thanks for saying hi. Always good to see you, man. But let's see here. I gave a look at that first issue of that Shazam book by Mark. Let me go say his name. It starts with a W and he's an a-hole and a nut job. And I love Captain Marvel too much to countenance too much of the modern day sludge that is in it. I understand he's trying to make it fun, and he look, as wiener though he is, I know he loves Captain Marvel also, but there's only so much they're gonna let him do with it. So, and I don't really like that art too much. I know some of my friends seem to like it a little bit, some like it, but nah. And then I read those 2 issues of that new Clobberin Time miniseries. Well, to me, the one with Thing and Hulk. Well, it had Thing and Hulk in the first issue, then it had Thing and Wolverine in the second issue with that stupid bit where the SJW heckles the Thing on this how talk show stage. And I don't like the art. The story's kind of Again, I guess I should give, even aside from that stupid bit on the stage, I mean, from what I hear about a lot of modern Marvel comics, if there's actual fights happening, it's almost like an unusual thing now, because usually they just sit around and whine about stuff. But it's not good. I didn't like it. So I'll read the third one, I guess. I'm trying to get that FCBD issue of Conan. Oh, Free Comic Book Day of Conan? Monkey Jeebus? Yeah, I've heard of it. D-Bub was talking about that as well. I got my one of my local shops. I saw something they posted on Facebook today. They said they still have a bunch of their Free Comic Book Day comic. Of course, by luck, they won't have that one. And I wouldn't mind grabbing that one. But my friend Minimus got it. Fanty says they also got a few tales to astonish, including 44 faded cover. Oh, 44. Wow. With watch, sometimes detergent stain, but it's complete first wasp. Wow. Nice. Yeah. I'm seeing if William still has copies in his store in Vega. Well, I hope you can get it, man. Hope you snag it. I didn't even bother on Free Comic Book. Did anybody else go to Free Comic Books Day this week, this Saturday? Sam movies are based on the awful Jeff Johns run. Yeah, and I hate that Jeff Johns stupid, his shit Zam Screw 52 trash. Fuck Jeff Johns with that crap, man. I'm sorry. Screw him. He's done some comics I like. He used to be able to write, but I remember just how repulsive it was when I first read that. His take on Shazam. I even hate saying Shazam. It's Captain Marvel, but no, this isn't Captain Marvel. So call him Shaz Bitch or Shabitch or whatever you want to call him. It's not Captain Marvel. Screw him and his scrote. Ugh. In the comic, I don't think you can't repair it. Oh, you can get a free PDF of it. D-Bud, thank you, buddy. But did anyone go to Free Comic Book Day this Saturday? I didn't even bother. They had like a show at a hotel, and there was at a little motel here that had a bunch of tables, and you pay $1 to get in, and Minimus went. I didn't even bother, and then the other comic shop had it. Just didn't care. Just don't give a crap. I mean, I was too lazy. It was raining. Didn't really give a crap. Yeah, D-Bud's posted it up there. You can get a free PDF copy of Conan Zero. There you go. Have you read Gargoyle? The Gargoyle comic books. They continue the show, and they are making the show from the show animated show Gargoyle. I haven't the Gargoyles. Sorry, I have not. I never watched the show much, but I know a lot of people really like it. It has a big following. A lot of people thought that was a cool show, but I have not seen that. A Darkwing Duck as well, eh? There you go. Good. I've seen that a little bit. If all the new books were free, they'd still be robbing the customers. Yeah. They never. I mean, it's almost the free comic book that they give out on Free Comic Day are usually crap. Let's be honest. I remember I walk in there, and when they had the big stacks, when I would walk into there, and you just grab whatever you want. I might grab 1 or 2 or 3, and like there's like 20 of them I don't even want. I'm like, eh. And even those are like stretching it. Like, all right, maybe this one. And then never even have any use for them. And of course, they're not free to the owner. And so and it's a sweet idea, I guess, if you're not an owner of a comic shop, because then it's a pain in the ass. And no, they didn't have Free Comic Book Day when I was owning a comic shop. I'm just saying, but I have a lot of friends with comic shops. But it's nice for depending upon where you go, because some people have these events that are enjoyable to others. Some people like that, and, which is great and all. I personally don't. I think if I had a shop right now, I'd participate because you should, I guess, but I would keep it down to a minimum. Some people make really big events and you do signings and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to have an event like that. I have no problem with that. But it got kind of thrown out of whack with a couple years back with the Kofi. So, but yeah, I can't remember the last time I even went to that, other than like a number of years ago when a friend was doing like events for it, but not anymore. Like a little mini con or something, but yeah. This year they had 40 different free titles, says Fanty. Wow. 40, huh? My goodness. Oh, and D-Bud says, the owner of my LCS is the one who got Free Comic Book Day started, Joe Field. Wow. Damn, says D-Bud. Wowzer. Oh, my goodness. Huh. I imagine he does a big to-do then at his place. Or does he? Makes a big event of it, does he? I saw something with that jackass Rosansky from up at Mile High or whatever was whining that last year he paid Roy Thomas to come to Mile High to do a big signing and what have you, and it cost him. He's whining about it this year because last year it ended up costing everything he made ended up costing, he ended up using the payoff Thomas for last year. So this year he didn't have anybody. Well, boo-hoo, dude. You nut? That guy's never mind. I shouldn't have said his name. Glance Kukuski, as you say. But yeah, what are you gonna do? There's this free comic book. The Conan one does look good though. Yeah, it's usually a big deal at his store, right? Let's see here. All right. Download a. It says we could download a PDF here. Oh, okay. Look at all these covers for it, though. These are pretty cool covers. For Conan the Barbarian #1, let's take a look at that. This Titan getting Conan's pretty cool. Just that he's not, just the fact that it's not Marvel anymore, or Dark Horse, for that matter, or IDW, whoever. Yeah, these covers are pretty cool. Yeah, coming out May 23rd. Okay. Yeah, this Conan book looks pretty good. That cover I don't know about. Oh man, a little channeling a little Barry Windsor Smith on that one. Well, when he was Barry Smith. I like that cover. That's the cover. How many variants do we have to have of this thing though? Fandy Outsider says, so it cost him more than he made. Boo-hoo. Just jack up your jacked up prices more. The only hook he ever had was when he had the really cheap incentive books and the comic ads. Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go to that store, but things I've heard later about him, make me not want to go. But yeah, he's not cheap. What is this Magnolia cover? It looks like I don't like that. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, look, they got a wraparound cover of a Hyborian Age map. That's the cover I would get. That's badass. I bet my shop's not going to have that one. Huh. Oh, look, they've got a they got a movie poster one as well. Look, oh, that's pretty cool right there. I like that one. How many cover G, cover I? How many freaking covers, man? Covered. Wait a minute. Maybe shouldn't that be cover H? I mean, I'm no math. I'm certainly no master of the letters, but somebody forgot their alphabet. So that's a cover I would get. As Andre pointed out in the Conan Zero, he does something he couldn't do in the Marvel books. He holds severed head. Andre, the great Andre, of course, from Midnight's Edge. He knows his Conan. The bottom one is the one we have from Free Comic Book Day. Oh, is it? That one there? Yeah, gotcha. The Hyborian Age one's only $5. $5.99. I'd get that one. I'd also get that one. The Barry Smith one by Patch Zurcher. I don't know why they got a chick cover. It's supposed to be Conan guy, damn it. Yeah, but I would get that one. The one that's kind of looks similar to the Barry Smith one before he became Barry Windsor Smith. Hey, Apollome's Minion and the Pupperoni. Puppy dog, truck dog. Good to see you, my dear. I hope you are doing well and being safe out there. So, yeah, but if I see this one, I know I'm not going to see it, but I might go to the shop next week when it's supposed to come out the 23rd. And get the Hyborian Age cover. That would be kind of cool. She says, yes, Apollonie has a Star Wars comic from 1978. Yeah, you've mentioned that. Nice. But he's a real Conan in this modern day sorcery we are living through, says Pushman down. Yes, we could. So, if you were are you going to buy this comic? You're going to start buying the Titan Conan book? I don't buy new comics, but it's kind of one I wouldn't mind going to get. But after completing the deal, he tells the story and says, "It always bothered me. I didn't say anything. We could have. Well, you could have, moron." Okay. I did it backwards there, Fanty. I'm sorry. I told you, man. Losing it. Losing my dang memory. Losing my dang mind. Yeah, I might get this one. It'd actually mean going to the shop and everything. At least it's not Marvel or DC, though. Titans run by a bunch of idiots, too, though. I know that much for a fact. Wow. I know the Titans a bunch of jackasses. I sprang for the artist edition of Barry Windsor-Smith's Red Nails a few years back. Really? Oh, man. That's a beautiful book, huh? Oh, God, it's very nice. Barry Windsor-Smith's Conan, man, especially, and those I can't afford too many artist editions, so I only have a few, but I love them. Minimus has got a bunch of them. Our dear departed buddy Mark C., who I now want to talk about a little bit. He had a bunch of those. Retro Blastings here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. We could use some Savage Sword quality Conan right now. Oh, yes. Andre has a great video where he interviews the head of Titan Comics and the writer of the new Conan comic strips. Here's a link to it that D-Bud's got in the. So everyone, Andre, our good buddy with Midnight's Edge. After Midnight's Edge, there's Midnight's Edge, and of course, there's him and Tom on Midnight's Edge. 2 channels on Midnight's Edge After Dark. This is on the Midnight's Edge channel, I take it. The great Andre interviewing the writer of the new upcoming Titan Comics Conan series. So check that out. And it's always good to see my retro blasting buddy. And hey, Captain Infinity and beyond. So, speaking of great artists, and speaking of like those artist editions are amazing. Bush Pan Down. I only have a couple of them myself because they're so expensive. I have one of the Kirby Fantastic Four artist editions. I have one of the Kirby Thor. I have a Watchmen one. I have the Prisoner, Kirby's Prisoner, which is sort of an artist edition, not exactly. But I'll tell you, and of course, Minimus has a bunch of them. And there's a dear friend of ours who, this is not Monday night, but our Monday night show is named after him. Our good buddy Mark C., the great Mark C., today would have been his 50th birthday. And so, you know, I tribute to him. He was just a, important part of this channel early on. And we miss him very much. Never do I talk comics on this channel without thinking about him because, he loved talking comics. It was his favorite thing to talk about. And, yeah, it's just, it's a sad, I can't believe it's been 2 years. Just the other night when we were on Monday night, Jack's mama, she's the grandmother of the great Mark C's son, the late great Mark C's son. It was his birthday the other night, and he made 14. So, it's a shame they were not celebrating together. So it's a bittersweet moment for the Mark Steven Chure's family. But what can we do? Happy birthday, buddy. We miss you. Just a couple of months back, we did a tribute, stream to them from the day the night of when he passed. So, but I wanted to acknowledge him on his birthday. He meant a lot, not only to this channel, not only to us, but a lot of other channels too. He was friends with a lot of people out there on the YouTube streams that knew him. And that miss him. So the great Mark C, as I do believe that Gary Neurotic started calling him. Hey man, 50 would have been. I wish he were here for us to tease him about being 50, because when he was a youngster, he bought comics from me. That's what. When we first met, I didn't know until many, many years later when he told me. But he bought some comics from me. He used to come there and buy comics, and we miss you, pal. Happy birthday, the great Mark C. So, yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to get downer on you guys, but I wanted to do that before, I wanted to do that. I wanted to wait for a while and then do that, and just so we could just have it acknowledged, because it's today. Tomorrow, we'll do it a little bit more, even though it'll be the day after, just to, so, Raquel has anything to say, so. But, and also he loved Conan and he loved art. He would have, he'd have been, this is a comic he would have been interested in. And man, did he have some artist editions, dude. Good Lord. He got them all, man. Well, not all of them, but man, oh man, did he have some great ones. Yeah, he loved them. I mean, he was a comic book artist and he loved comic book art. And so, yeah. Well, could not be reached. Hey, that Conan book, Red Nails was one of my favorite. I have the, in the early 80s, they did a real nice, it wasn't prestige format, but it was on a very slick Baxter paper, or not even it was like a really slick paper, thick, comic book sized reprint of Red Nails, beautifully colored. I love it. They also did, I think they also actually reprinted some of the tabloid editions. It's a couple of those Conan tabloids as well. Treasury editions. Actually, Marvel called them treasuries. And those were great. So yeah, Red Nails is one of, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful works by Barry Windsor Smith, he'll always be my favorite Conan artist. I know that's easy. I love John Buscema. I mean, anyone picking Buscema, look, I'm in your back pocket because I understand you got my vote. But I just something about Barry Windsor Smith, even when he was Barry Smith, and I don't know who your favorite Conan artist is. It's tough for me to pick, but it's Barry Windsor Smith, Gil Kane, and John Buscema. For me, I may prefer Barry Windsor Smith. But between man, if you give me Kane or Buscema, I'm happy. And of course, best inker, I like Garnett Chan or Alfredo Alcala. Alfredo Alcala mostly was on Savage Sword of Conan, though. So, And I think they do omnibuses of Savage Sword of Conan now, but you don't want that. You want the originals, don't you? I know you people. I like some omnibuses and stuff, but it's kind of good to get the originals when you can. Yeah. Yep. Alcala on Buscema. Even Tony DeZuniga, who might have been kind of a muddy inker, but on some things, but he was good on Buscema for Conan, I thought. But a Savage Sword, I think it was Alcala. Yeah. So, and from what people are telling me, this new Titan Conan comic looks. I mean, the guys looks like it's very Buscema look, which is interesting. I guess they're aping his style, and I guess I don't have a problem with it. I mean, okay, yeah, they're copying the guy's style. I get it. I guess I don't mind too much. Because it's kind of it's a great style. It's just, yeah, I mean. Retro Blasting says, original Savage Sword kept me very entertained each month living in the UK. The news agents always carried it. Oh, cool. That had I'll tell you, Michael, that had a pretty high distribution, Savage Sword. It really did. And for the longest time. It was around a good while. So, yeah. Conan was big time, man. He was big time. Yeah, and I'm kind of sitting there going, I hope we don't get another movie. You know what I haven't seen in forever, by the way? I haven't seen the first Conan movie in forever. Great movie score. Is it the comic? No. Obviously, it's not the books either. I kind of liked it. At least, back when I saw it. It's been a while. Second one, I don't know. Maybe it's time we got that King Conan. Bushpan Down says they need a new 4K of Conan original. So it's not on 4K? Or you say they need a new one? I can't. There are too many Ks for me anyway. I just get normal Blu-ray, but I know I got friends who, a lot of my friends are big time 4K collectors and love that stuff. Tonight, Tom on the Midnight's Edge, he and Valiant Renegade were talking about the 4K of that new Superman set. Retrobus says Savage Sword was the book for the diehard enthusiast. Conan the Barbarian was the flagship. King Conan, did it get lost in the shuffle? Yeah, they eventually changed King Conan to the Conan the King. And yeah, see, I was one of those. Look, you know me, Mike. I'm a superhero geek. So back then, when those comics were coming out, I certainly, if I didn't pick up Savage Sword to buy it, if I were at the drugstore, I would sit there and flip it and read it. If I would pick up Conan comics issues a lot, but not every issue because I had to decide how to spend my comic book dollar, as I always talk about here at the 7-Eleven or what have you. And so I got to admit, I would always opt for the Fantastic Four comic or the Legion comic or the Batman comic or the Spidey, the Marvel team up, the Marvel 2-in-1, the Superman, a Superboy, all those things. But sometimes I would get a Conan book because I had to, and the reason being is years prior to that, I had the Conan album, and I mean the audio album. I had the Power record, book and record, and then the big album, the 45 with Conan stories on it. That actually introduced me to Conan. I mean, that's how I first saw Conan, was one of those Power records. Wagner says they have only released the director's version of the movie. As far as I know, the theatrical version of Conan the Barbarian has not been released on Blu-ray 4K. Hey, almost didn't see him pop in there. Mark D with the C. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing all right tonight, man. So that was I think that was my introduction to Conan. Like a lot of people, it was comics. I had not read the Howard books, or even the L. Sprague de Camp Lynn Carter books, for that matter, which are sacrilege to a Howard purist. And I know some Howard purists, by the way. So it was the regular Conan title. I remember I had a Neil Adams cover on that Power Records. Oh yeah, could not be reached for further comment. Power Records are how I learned to read, how I learned to teach myself to read. I love them. Book of Records. So but that was my introduction to Conan. I mean, I didn't I gotta say, I didn't buy it much. It was on and off sometimes, or I would just read it in the store. I just was more of a superhero geek, but I liked it fine. I went to see the movie, of course, and all that kind of stuff. So I love me some Conan, no question about it. But yeah, got to admit, I didn't buy it a lot. Now I went and I bought those Treasuries, and I bought that Red Nails reprint, and I bought a lot of stuff later. I went back and bought some back issues later, of course, back in the 80s, 90s. Wow. D-Bud, you were showing some age there, partner. My introduction to Conan was Conan the Barbarian #1, which I bought from the local drugstore in 1970. Man, you are oldie McOldness. Matthew Pounder, that's interesting. He says, Slane was our Conan in the UK, 2000 AD, Slane, right? I read a lot of Slane, though. I did read some Slane because I used to have a bunch of 2000 ADs. Don't ask me how we got them over here because they weren't distributed here. As a big fan, I became a big fan of Judge Dredd through the Titan albums, and the other 2000 AD books through the Titan albums, and eventually, back in the early 80s, I managed to snag a guy selling a bunch of 2000 AD weeklies. I don't know if he shipped them over from UK, if he brought them over himself. About a ton of those and stuff. And of course, Slane was also in. They did some a lot of reprint books on those. So I liked Slane too, but it was pretty cool. But I'm just more of a geeky science fiction and superhero geek. Agreed. Bush Pan Down. The Conan soundtrack is excellent. Basil. JT Kirk says I was born after the first Conan movie came out. I didn't see Conan till my 20s, and I just didn't get the hype based on the film. Well, I don't know if it's all that hyped up that much. I mean, a lot of people do like it. I like it. But when I thought it was 1982, it was far from my favorite movie at the time. And Wrath of Khan was in the theater. That was the year of Wrath of Khan and Tron and John Carpenter's The Thing and all these other movies. So it was hardly in my top favorite movies that year, but I liked it. You know, Swamp Thing came out that year, I think. And I went to see all of it, you know. That's when I was. Imagine being 18 years old with all those movies coming out in the theater. I never think about that as much. Now I think about going, holy crap, we were lucky. God damn it, we were lucky, man. 18, and you get to go. Wrath of Khan opens and Tron, and the year before that, Raiders, and the year before that, just that, yeah, you're in your teens up to 18, but just 18 years. Stick with 82. You're 18 and all those movies are coming out. Man. We were spoiled that way, that's for sure. What is up to the great Marky D with a CE?
Hey, yeah, that was a good
What's
year.
up?
Hail to everyone in the
It
chat.
was.
How's it going? Yep.
Don't you wish you were older?
I wish I was old enough to have seen that. Yeah, I guess since I was born in 1980. No, just kidding. Yeah.
You were older, but yeah, you can go see the R-rated ones.
No, I was not a Catholic school kid. I was not allowed to go see the rated R movies. A friend next door, he had a birthday party. I think I've told this story before. They were going to see Excalibur for his birthday, and they were all 14 and 15. And of course, my mom said, you can't go see that. That's rated R. And then, of course, there's a pretty graphic scene with Uther. And I won't describe it, but yeah, the mom said later, didn't tell me, but years later, like, yeah, I shouldn't have taken the kids to see that movie. So sometimes the ratings are, but yeah, I saw it years later.
There were two things I remember I liked about Swamp Thing. Said Lal says Swamp Fanty. Yeah, we get it. Obligatory Adrian Barbeau joke alert, folks. Adrian Barbeau alert.
Only
jokes.
two things.
Only two things. Very.
You didn't like Swamp Thing?
Funny.
Come on, Swamp Thing looked awesome.
Swamp Thing was. Can we be honest? Look.
Yes.
Wes Craven. All right, look. All right.
To be honest.
All right. To be honest. No. All right. Look. The Swamp Thing movie. I'm sorry, folks. We walked out of it thinking. I walked out of it a little aggravated because I was a fan of the comic. This was pre-Alan Moore, of course, but it was still there was Lynn Wein. So it wasn't. It was an insult to Lynn Wein and Bernie Wrightson. Because, all right, first 20 minutes did a fairly decent job of telling the origin. Pretty straightforward. He runs out into the swamp and all that kind of stuff. And then he comes up. The rubber suit's bad enough, but the movie went really cornball. It was so campy and stupid. Now, it gave us Adrian Barbeau, so that's at least something.
Who was she married to at the time? Was she
John Carpenter?
John Carpenter, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think. And she was also Maud's daughter. And then that Maud. And of course, she was in Escape from New York before that.
Yep.
Yeah, Louis Jourdain's not a good villain. As Arcane, that was a terrible casting. And the second movie was stupider, but the first movie was pretty stupid.
Now, was the Heather Locklear movie, was that a made-for-TV movie?
No. It was Craven again, I think. No, it wasn't Craven. It was Jim Wynorski who directed that one, but it was Return of the Swamp Thing was pretty stupid. I mean, yes, we got Heather Locklear, but yeah, well, I get you, but come on, man. So yeah, both of those movies were terrible to me. As an 18-year-old kid who loved Lynn Wein and Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing, I hated that movie. I walked out, and now people you hear so many people looking back on it with these rose-colored glasses and how fun it was and how goofy. Well, I didn't think Swamp Thing should be made fun of at the time. I didn't think he should be campy.
Yeah.
My God, I maintained my love for Adam West, but Swamp Thing's supposed to be scary. Damn it. Wes Craven, I would thought, when I saw him doing it, I thought he would make it scary.
And then went the camp route, yeah.
Oh,
or sucks. Camp, but not on purpose, I think, right? Yeah.
It's got stupid monsters, and he said, God. Yeah, I hated it. And then the second one was stupid crap. And the second one came out after Alan Moore, I think after Alan Moore so they made him sort of look closer to it, but it was just as stupid.
Yeah, the costume for Swamp Thing in that movie was just
rubber.
So bad. I mean,
latex costume.
Rubber. Unfortunately, you could tell it's a rubber suit. I mean, that's the main problem with it. Yeah, I mean, from a distance, he doesn't look bad, but as soon as he moves, you see the rubber crinkling. If you're not looking at someone else, you're noticing.
Yeah. Right. Well, look, I'm sure it's cute now. If I watched it now, I'd probably laugh and wouldn't care. But back then, man, I was pissed off. I walked out, I was like, this sucks. We were raving about how much I was pissed off, going nuts over it then.
Now, were there two TV series? There were two TV series.
There were two. Well, there was the
new one, and
USA one.
Yeah.
And they cast a guy named Mark Lindsay Chapman, who had a name very similar to Mark David Chapman.
Yeah.
And they had to screw with his name or something.
They changed his
was weird.
name. Didn't they change his
Right.
name for a while?
Yeah, I think so.
In the
Just like
show.
they did with
Yeah.
Ralph Hinckley and Ralph Handley.
Yeah.
Back in the Greatest American Hero. That's weird. Is it two shows dealing with super type people or whatever that had happened? That's weird, isn't it?
That's weird.
And anyway, then you had that one from a few years ago, which everybody liked, but me, I hated it. Oh, I thought it sucked off.
Well, they had some good bits to it, and the girl that played Abby Arcane was
Okay.
equally
just named
gorgeous.
the only good bit aside from her. What's good about that show?
Well, I think the setup was good, and then I think once they found out that DC or Warner
it
Brothers
took place in the swamp,
once they cut, I think they cut like 4 or 5 episodes. Remember when they announced they were shutting down DC Direct or the DC streaming? So I think if it had been, could have ended up a lot better. I think if the writers had maybe been able to do what they want. Yeah, but maybe it would have been it more. I don't know. But,
man, and then
no, it wasn't good. I agree, it wasn't good. I'm not saying it was good, but some certain bits were okay, but not just the girl. But and it wasn't. And was Blue Devil in it too? I think. Or
the guy was supposed to be Blue Devil, but he never had the costume. He's just a guy. He had the same name as Blue Devil.
Yeah, and then the last episode, I think he
never put the costume on. I don't think.
Or one episode he transformed. I think to Blue Devil. I think the very end. Yeah.
Why do we have Blue Devil in there anyway? What the hell?
Yeah, that was stunt casting.
I don't understand it. It sucked a donkey. Then man? You'd think it was like the greatest show ever made. When you talk to people, they go, I'm saying, what was Swamp Thing about this show? It was all about it mostly was dealing with the damn humans most of the time. We got very little Alec Holland in it. It's like again, I'm with you. The chick was but you know.
Yeah, I guess in the end,
that on Instagram.
Yeah, was it then the bad guy? Who was it? Was it Arcane still in, or was
no? It was
Sutherland.
Sunderland, that guy who. Which another thing? Why is Sunderland in this thing so much?
Yeah.
Swamp Thing pretty much killed him in the first Alan Moore issue, so I don't understand why you want to use him.
Yeah, he gets turned into He gets turned into like a new version of the Swamp Thing in the very last episode. They were going to try to make him
like Carcane, sort of.
Wasn't he?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand what people have to screw with stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you did have Jessica Biel in it too.
Was she?
Yeah, she was as a character. She was a cop in it. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, that was
checking the cast. Yeah.
No.
Jennifer Beals.
Oh, yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was also.
She was a sheriff. Yeah.
She was the obligatory female sheriff.
Yep.
Hey, old Maddie's daddy. What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Hey, Steve. How's it going? Well, what has Abby Arcane done lately? I mean, let's see. Has she done anything lately? Crystal Marie Reed, since we're checking, this is whatever Wednesday, right? So we can see what she's.
It'll be the lady.
The lady.
Well, yeah, I could see her.
Teen Wolf, the movie you'll be watching. That's coming out. Or came out. Yeah, it's. Yeah. I told you have to watch it. Yeah, that's it. She hasn't done anything. Yeah.
Oh, she's in
Teen Wolf, the movie, I guess. Yeah.
I've got to watch it because she's in it. Okay, sure. All right, we'll see. Yeah, no, I'm not. Look. I always love how people say, "Well, I had to watch it because this typical hot chick was in it." Said, they got things like porn and Instagram, right? You don't really have to watch a movie because someone's in it. You knew that, right?
Oh, now you're telling me. You mean I didn't have to watch all the nine episodes of Swamp Thing?
Exactly. You could have looked at pictures. I don't know if she's on Instagram. I'm just saying. I'm just as a generalization. Now, look, that girl is. You got a picture of her?
Of course, I have a picture of her. Yeah.
Oh, what is that? That sounded bad.
Well, I mean, not just her.
Of course, I have a picture of her.
Not like that. You get me in trouble with my much better half. Yeah.
Of course, yes. No, I didn't mean it that way, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, these days it's easy to look up pictures. I mean, when we were kids, you had to fight to get pictures. I mean.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now
you got
it's a goggle away.
It's a goggle away. Just goggle that sucker.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Yep.
Well, you can show a picture if you want.
Yeah, sure, we can. Why not? Let's go for it.
So, everyone, your judgment. Should this worth sitting through 9 episodes of stupid Swamp Thing show?
Or actually 10 now. I just checked
Was it
10.
10? Okay.
Yeah. Don't want to shortchange. Let's see here. Let's share the screen here.
Is this from the show or just pictures of in general?
Well, I just did. I better turn safe search on. I hope safe search is on. Yeah. Well, this is the lady from Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's her publicity photo. Yeah, she's a cutie patootie, as Raquel would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would watch a show just for her, but she's an exception.
Yeah.
Crystal Reed. What does she do now?
She was in Teen Wolf, I guess. That was
bikini.
And
Bikini.
wait, why did you just click on that picture?
Why did you click on that? I didn't. JT Carter says no, not worth it. Really? Well, I guess I'm just weaker than you. I'm weaker than you, JT. But you're made of sterner stuff because you're a Lions fan, buddy. Holy mother of God. Okay, we better stop.
Better stop. I'm killing you.
Not
how's
worth
your
it.
how's your heart rate? How's your heart rate? Is it
getting
okay?
worse now? Yeah.
Well, it's good to raise your heart rate once in a while. Yeah.
That's not Crystal. That's some other Reed.
Well, this is her. Yeah. Teen Wolf. Yep.
What name did you search?
Crystal Reed. Yeah.
Doesn't look like Crystal Reed in your search thingy.
Oh, it doesn't look like Christopher Reed.
Crystal Reed. No, it says in your search thing. It says another name up there.
Oh, that's her full name. Yep.
Mallory.
Marie. Yep.
Crystal Marie. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, she was on Gotham. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I
Well,
understand.
Looking at ladies like this gets boring, right, everyone? So yeah, we'll just turn this.
All right, we better stop.
Off. Better stop. Yeah, it's too
That's why
boring.
no ladies are here because we're so.
Yeah, we scared them away.
Nah, they weren't here anyway. But that's a 9 anyway. They weren't. Why would they hang out with us?
Yeah.
Wasn't that great an actress at the time? Says could not be. Okay. I hear you. I'll take your word for it because I did see it, but I wasn't really thinking about that sort of thing. Well, And the show
I can't look at the chat now. I got more pictures up. Just kidding.
It's on Gotham, huh? Oh well.
Oh, didn't she play one of the versions of Poison Ivy? They aged up Poison Ivy. Was she the aged up Poison Ivy?
Wait a minute. No.
Who was that?
She wasn't Selena Kyle, was she?
No, not Selena Kyle.
That was a redhead.
Yeah, but they changed the actress. They aged the actress up, didn't they? I'm trying to forget who that was.
Yeah, on Ivy they did, yes, but that wasn't her because that girl they did that with was a redhead. Someone said that this girl was on. Oh, she played Sophia Falcone. Thank God.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
For a minute, I thought you said she was Selena Kyle. And that was a child.
No. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
she was.
But then they aged up Poison Ivy because they aged up Poison Ivy
for some dumb. Yeah, and they found
they want to do more adult stuff. Yeah.
Right. That was so sleazy of them to do that.
And I think they had ended up having two actresses for that.
Some
of it was good.
Crap.
I like some of it.
Bat Gordon. Oh no! Look,
yeah,
I'm a dumbass.
True,
I watched all the first 2 seasons, maybe or so. And every now and then it was one of those shows. This has happened to me on very rare occasions in my life, but it's happened where I would watch some show because everyone's talking about it, and and I thought maybe if I stuck with it, I would be okay. And I never got okay, but I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And then finally, I'm like, I can't do it. Screw this. Why? No. And that was one of them. And I don't know if I made it to the 3rd season, but I probably got close. And I was like, every week I watch this, and I've got more complaints than I never enjoy anything. Some of the performances, yeah, but this show is a piece of garbage.
Harvey Bullock was
is stupid.
Good, yep.
But no,
and you had Morena Baccarin in it. Yeah.
Oh, Peyton List played aged up Ivy. Really? Wow, I love her on Cobra Kai. I didn't know that was Peyton List.
Yeah, and you had Dr. Bashir's Ra's al Ghul.
Right, yeah, he was right. That's true. I mean, the kid I mean, was it the kid playing Joker? That guy was pretty good, but it was just Jerome. But it's just who cares? Kid playing Penguin, good actor. The performance was fine.
Yeah,
It's not
good,
really
yeah.
whack Penguin, but kid playing Riddler
He was good,
was
yeah.
pretty good. The guy playing Gordon's cool. You know, I like him. I like the guy playing Bullock. I like the cast. The kid playing, of course, Sean Pertwee's so fantastic as Alfred. It was irresistible.
He's good. Yeah, he's
But
good.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
the absolute underlying flaw of a show like that is 10 years before Batman. That might be okay, except you're introducing all of his villains 10 years early. You got it ass backwards, dummies. They're supposed to come after Batman. The villains, you know, that's why all this accusations like you made them, whatever. Well,
That
normal
stuff
villains,
was silly. Yeah, that stuff was silly.
it's you got the Joker, it's 10 years earlier. You got the Penguin 10 years earlier. Whack, whack, whack. You got the Riddler. And then Bruce is what? 10? 12? Maybe 12.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. Yeah.
Ugh. Sucks. That show was garbage. Jesus Christ. Did they finally stop
I watched a lot of it. Oh, of course they finally stopped it.
I think I did too,
I
man.
watched
Up
a
until
lot of
about
it,
like
yeah.
the last couple of years. I mean, Alfred was going out. I mean, Alfred's a damn ninja. Commissioner Gordon may as well be
that's
wearing
new
a Batman
comics now.
costume himself.
Yeah, well, that's what they've done with the new comics, though. Yeah.
Gordon might as well be Batman. Bat Gordon.
Yeah.
There you go. Could not be reached. By the time Batman is in his prime, his villains are all elderly. They're on they're on AAR, man. What the hell? They've got their Social Security cards while he's running around. I love. Yeah, I know. I agree, Brian. I mean, I love Sean Pertwee. Yeah, Donald Logue. I like the guy playing Harvey.
He was good.
A good cast. Just like you may as well just. How about you make it with this is an alternate reality where there's not going to be a Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you had
your
if
opening
you had
scene,
had-
right?
if you
The
knew you were going to
Waynes-
get Batman at the end of
No.
the you
Not what I'm
did
saying.
actually in this, but yeah, all right. No
I'm saying-
Batman.
This
Okay.
show, let's say your opening shot is them walking through the alley and the attack happens, but they live and they walk on. You know, they escape they walk on, and that's it. And maybe young Bruce Wayne's inspired by his dad stopping a criminal or whatever, and he's like a minor character in the story. And you do everything else in the city that all that stuff starts happening, and you don't have to sit there and go, you know something? Batman's going to come along, and all these guys are going to be in their. All these criminals are going to be on Social Security. I don't know. Sean Pertwee should have, if Christopher, if Stephen Moffat had a brain, he would have done a special episode where Sean Pertwee plays the third Doctor.
Very cool.
Damn it! Did you see that rumor that after RTD leaves Doctor Who again, that Stephen Moffat might come back?
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, it can't get any worse. So
No, anything's better than Chibnall.
Yeah,
Moffat did a lot of really stupid shit, though.
yeah. I mean, their time is past. I think. I mean, they haven't done anything good. So
They did introduce Batman in the end, but he was dressed in duct tape and garbage bags.
I think that's right. Yeah, the last shot had him.
Garbage bags.
They did a flash forward scene, I think, right, or something. Yeah, and they had him as Batman. Yeah,
That's a good one. Oh, yeah. Shite! So that's something I don't know. It's a word I kind of I don't know if it's how fitting it is, and I've always make up for a lot of these superhero things you see in Hollywood called minimalism. And what I mean by that is you could tell people who make a comic book property where they're kind of ashamed of the subject material. So they'll go minimalist about it. Like they won't make a full-on goofy looking or what they consider to be a goofy costume. They'll make it look, they want to minimalize it, make it look what they consider to be more realistic and less goofy, and yet it'll look worse. Like that Adam Warlock piece of shit costume. Cosplayers could do infinitely better than they did in that stupid movie with that Adam Warlock costume. And have. How many times have you seen a cosplay costume look way better than the freaking movie costume.
Oh, tons of times. Yeah. Okay, so you're stuck on a desert island. You can either take Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Gotham with you. Which do you choose?
Well, I would probably get more sleep with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I would be less annoyed. So easy to take Agents of Schmuck. Because Gotham's frustrating because it got some good cast and it's just like I hate the very concept of having it 10 years before Batman. It's just whereas Agents of Schmuck, it's just boring. I mean, it's just tonight on a very special, exciting episode of Agents of Schmuck. They're gonna mention Captain America's name, the name tonight. You'll thrill as they mention the Hulk and say the word Thor. Yeah, it's like they say names of shit, like ooh.
Names of stuff, right?
Yeah, they name stuff. Name droppers. Agents of name droppers. And that's what you get in an episode. I remember watching that show in that first season, and they would say Captain America, or they said, I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. At least you got Ming Na Wen. That's cool.
Good point, D-Bud. Yeah, she was good in that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's good parts of that show too. It just, I'd say I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually overall a better show. I think.
Yeah,
hey, Retro Nerd Girl.
This means some okay ones. Retro Nerd Girl, what's up? Good to see you, my dear. No, it is better. I mean, I'm watching it for a while.
Yeah.
I remember I fell out of it, and then when Winter Soldier came out, I saw that they were acting like they were going to tie it into that show. So I went and watched those episodes, and they did tie it in all right. They were watching TV when the Triskelion fell down with the whatchamadoodles, the helicarriers.
Yeah,
boy, howdy! Did they tie in and then
they tied him in. Agent
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Sitwell was there, right?
Was he on an episode?
Yeah, Agent Sitwell was there, and he was in the movie. We're like, oh my god, he was on TV in a movie. How did they plan that? How did they do that?
The thrill.
Imagine that.
The thrill of watching TV they were watching Captain America: Winter Soldier before it came out on DVD. Yeah, buddy. And then they would do stupid shit, like they would have something of a villain that wasn't really exactly like. They had like Gravitron, for example, just by name because they mentioned his name. They didn't act like him, didn't look like him, didn't anything.
Yeah.
But he was in there in the first couple episodes. They would have but the worst one I think for me is when they had Crusher Creel. They had the Absorbing Man, and he looked like him. He looked like that guy's the Absorbing Man, and he had the chain ball and chain thingy, right?
Yep.
You know who he was fighting? The Hulk. Just kidding. He's fighting Thor. Just kidding.
Yeah.
He's fighting the Avengers. Just kidding. He was fighting humans. He was fighting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Schmucky. Excuse me. But if you're going to have a supervillain, especially one of the physical ones, I don't really need to see him fighting humans. I mean, he's supposed to fight Thor and Hulk and all that. Wouldn't it have been cool to stick the Absorbing Man in one of the movies to fight Thor?
Probably,
Jesus.
right? Yeah. Save him for, yeah.
It's like that piece of shit wrecking crew that they put in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
What a horrible joke. Wouldn't it have been cool to see them fight the wrecking crew in the movie and make them look like that? And them fighting Thor or Hulk?
Oh yeah, so you save those villains for that. Yeah, that's why I was so mad when the Destroyer got destroyed so easily in the first Thor movie. I'm like, wait a minute, that should have been a whole movie to beat the Destroyer.
Hey, Keely Chow. In fact, good point. Instead of killing him in that, he should have maybe got rid of him or something, but it wasn't destroyed.
Not destroyed him. Yeah.
Put him in the Avengers movie where Loki uses him to attack New York. And uses as along with the Jatari anyway. That'd have been pretty cool. Seeing the Hulk and Thor fight the Destroyer. Yeah.
Didn't Thor get trapped inside the Destroyer for a while too? His consciousness or some point.
I know Loki did at one point.
Loki used the Destroyer too. Yeah, it was one of the first Thor comics I read was with the Destroyer, and there's just Thor was actually scared of or wary of fighting him. He was just so powerful. So,
Totally wasted him. Absolutely,
Yeah.
but they wasted him big time. Yeah, did you ever see that episode? I love the show. I talk about. I know I go on about it too much. With the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That an episode where Loki, of course, he was trapped in that garden of the island of silence that he'd been banished to, and Serta had given power to Enchantress to give him a chance to redeem himself. They gave him the Destroyer and allowed him. They put a curse on Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. To first, they put Loki in the Destroyer's body down in the subway, and they put, Thor got turned into he was still a big bulk guy, but he was like crippled, like Don Blake sort of. It was like a mix of that, and he didn't have a hammer, he had a stick. And Iron Man had all of his memory of all his technological knowledge taken away from him. He had like a very base, very plain suit. And Captain America got turned into skinny Steve Rogers, and they had to fight the Destroyer with Loki inside its mind. And the only one there to help him was Hawkeye. Did you see that episode? That was
I
so
can't
good.
remember now. I remember you telling me about it though, so maybe that's what I'm remembering. No,
That was
it's
so
okay.
good.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of those. I used to watch those with my kids too. So
God, it's such a good show. That was
Good
a
stuff,
brilliant
yeah.
show. And it was pretty cool though. They had to do one thing to get their courage back, and they would, get their power back and stuff. And they had to fight Loki with all those power. Hawkeye was great in that.
that's why the Avengers movie works so well, because Loki is a terrifying villain in that movie. He's really powered up. I mean, not overpowered, but he would be that powerful to be able to trick people. So now that he's become, quote unquote, a good bad guy, he's not terrifying. But that's part of the reason that first Avengers movie worked so well. Is Loki is so damn evil and mischievous, and the acting is just phenomenal. The casting, Hemsworth and Loki, it's just brilliant. I mean, just doesn't work without Hiddleston being so good in that part. If you'd had a actor who couldn't handle that movie's not working. So you always need the villain to pan out, and that's one of the reasons
Right.
I love that Avengers movie, is because he's so good in it. And Hawkeye gets sidelined, I guess. That's one of the main complaints, but I can live with it because he doesn't look so much like Hawkeye to me. I want that original costume, but no offense, Jeremy Renner. I know he's recovering now from his horrific accident. Thankfully, it looks like he's walking around and doing much better. But
Well, that's good.
Yep.
Good stuff. There you go.
You never know when he'll get stuck in a Christmas tree. But
Yeah. Oh God.
okay.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what, you all. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Like I said, it was just wild card, me doing nothing. Sorry about that. By the way, I had a good time with hanging with Loki earlier, though. That was a lot of fun. That nobody liked that movie but me on Loki show. Hey, Oliver Belamonte.
Oh, no one liked which movie?
Loki hated Guardians 3.
He hated it?
Yeah.
He only likes
did.
Thor movies when he's in it? Just
I don't know.
kidding. I mean, I didn't
That's
think it.
true.
Well, I don't want to get into all that again, but I mean, even if I could see if you didn't like it, I couldn't see where it's a bad movie, but
Well,
hate
that's
it.
my
It's
boy
very
Loki. We don't agree on everything, but what can you do?
No, that's good. Yeah, well, you're still friends. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'll have my revenge on him in this world or the next. I shall have my vengeance on Loki.
I mean, he must
Love
have
my
liked
boy
Cosmo
Loki.
at least, right? He had to like Cosmo.
I don't. Didn't ask him that. He said Cosmo was a bad dog.
Please take that back. Take that back.
That was funny. Yeah, I liked it.
And I want to get the Cosmo action figure. And it's a
Really?
Build-A-Figure, and I got to buy all 7 of the Marvel Legends
Did you see
figures
all
to
that-
get Cosmo.
Oh, really?
Oh,
did
God.
you see all those all that stuff available at the AMC besides the bucket you got?
No, what else did they have? I saw they had a cup or something, but
I
they
don't
had
know.
other
I
stuff
saw
too?
it somewhere. You might check because I saw it on Facebook. I can't find it. I wouldn't know where to find it right now. So AMC Guardians merch. Other than that, maybe
More
'cause
merch, yeah.
They got some other stuff there. I mean, I think
Well,
there's nothing like a cup or some t-shirts or different. I don't know. So they showed some figures too,
Posters
but
or figures, yeah.
I don't know.
And they
didn't
could be reselling stuff from, just through their website, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But I mean, they got enough money from me and Tom at Midnight's Edge for the popcorn bucket. No wonder I didn't see many of those with the rocket figure, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it was overpriced.
50 burgers. It was a statue, right?
It's a statue, but you can't
Can't detach it. You sure?
detach. Like I can. I mean, I have a machine shop. I got a phaser, but then I guess you're ruining the intrinsic value of the
That's true. People want to see
item.
yeah. No, that's cool though. I like
when
it.
I
thought it was
croak
nice.
someday, yeah, they.
I mean, 50
Dad,
buckles.
my dad will be. My kids will be like, Dad, why did you separate Rocket from the popcorn box? We could have gotten
You're like
50
the high
bucks for
evolutionary.
it. Yeah,
You mutilated Rocket.
yeah. Cut his feet off. Yeah, the Dremel slips. Yeah, yeah.
Well, what can you do? What
Yeah.
can you do? Oh man. So,
Well, I
what,
mean, I'm
you done
looking.
it?
Oh yeah, they've got fig pins. They've got some pins and stuff. Well, here I'll show the. I'll share. I know we're getting out of here, but I share it quick
No problem.
since we teased everyone. Yep. So let's
Build the figures are better an idea than a practice, says could not be. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, yeah, these are fig pins. I guess that was at the AMC.
Yeah, so they've got. Oh, Quantumania. They must have a lot of that stuff. Yeah, so they're selling. Well, I'm just gonna click on Guardians now, but let's see what they got for Guardians.
Yeah,
so you can buy
free
free shipping. Oh, I guess it didn't sell out.
And they got look at the sandwich thingy.
Yeah, $10. Sandwich container. You can put your snacks in there.
It's just another. Isn't another way of saying lunchbox, or it's kind of small for that?
I guess it must be kind of small, right? How big is it?
That's
5 by 5 or 6 by 6. Yep,
that'd be a big sandwich.
You can put a lot of Zag nuts in there.
Zarg nuts.
Zarg nuts.
Whatever the Zarg nut is. I know what a Zag nut is. I don't know what a Zarg nut is.
3D container. Yep.
Well,
it's only $10.
Yeah, JT Kirk isn't a sandwich container called a Ziploc bag. No, I guess so. I guess so, sir. I don't know. These are different. These are some fig pins here.
Fig pins, like not bad. Not
bad. I see those at the Walmart.
Oh, $124. Oh my goodness gracious!
For the set.
Limited with 1,000 pieces. That's a lot.
Okay.
Says the guy who spent $50 on this.
Yeah, but this is way better than that. I mean, this is half of that, and it's way better. There's a couple of pins. The fig pins are. I don't know, man. That's outrageous. This is pretty
so it's
cool.
in stock and free shipping. So I guess they must not have sold as many as they wanted. Yeah. So because I've seen a lot of these selling on eBay.
Well, the movie's not even doing that great. So
let's see what it does this week.
Bubble.
You think it's not doing well? Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying it's underperforming. Was it Guardians? Was it
Ravager bag mini socks? Funko. Oh, I get that. I'd get Cosmo plush.
What? It's a plush. What? I'd get that tumbler almost, but I already got me a new Legion tumbler. But that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, not bad. Yep.
Yeah, it looks good.
They come with cassette tapes there, I guess, or it's just a tag, I guess. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you should make a Cosmo and put it in the Cosmo glass.
Cosmo. Bad dog.
You get a shirt.
Yeah.
Was this old school or not?
It's an old school looking shirt, but it's still them.
New Guardians, so yep.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though. I like it. It does look old school. Like Alan Davis.
Yeah, not bad art. Yeah, not bad.
Look, Alan Davis did the art or something on there.
Does it say?
Is that close we can see?
Let me zap in on it and see.
It's bigger the other way.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty good though. It's not bad. I like a shirt that looks like a comic book.
Yeah, I like that. Cool.
Not bad. Yep.
Cool.
Guardian shirts, more shirts. Yeah,
shirts. Yes, this is good stuff. Yes.
So I guess yeah, you can get. You just look at.
I guess a lot of that's in theater, but I don't know.
Let's see what they. Top Gun. Oh, we could send you these, right? The Aviators. Just kidding. I'm getting booted for showing this stuff. Yep. Well, actually, Tom Cruise was flying a P-51 Mustang the other day and told thanking everyone for watching movies during an award show. I thought that was pretty darn cool. So at least he knows his audience and how to bother them up so they go in the theater and buy popcorn. But that was pretty darn cool.
I bet Thor still has all their crap not sold out. What do you want to bet?
Oh, there's got to be a lot of Thor stuff. Oh, except for the hammer, probably.
I bet they still have it.
Nope,
I bet that on that site you went, really? Okay.
Yep, it's out. I just checked. Yep.
Oh boy. Well, everyone, I want to thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. I know I didn't do anything special, but I never do on a Wednesday night. Well, that's a wild card. Sometimes I do. But first, before we get out of here, we'll see if our guest has any final words for the evening. Anything you got to say or promote?
Well, thank you for letting me hang out with you tonight. A lot of fun as always.
Thanks for hanging.
Hail to the chat. Yep. And we'll be doing I don't know if I have a chance to do a watch party tomorrow for the clubhouse. I got some meetings tomorrow. I shall try though. But check Twitter and YouTube for announcements because we're down in episode 2. We skipped the episode last week too, unfortunately. So I didn't do the watch party for. I didn't do the watch party for.
Oh, that you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
We reviewed it though.
We reviewed it. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to do the watch party. So yep.
Gotcha.
So maybe we'll do back to back or we'll double up. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Sure.
But and then of course we should be having Sunday Night Geekery on be Mother's Day, but by 10 p.m. all the celebrations should be over. So we'll be doing that and looking forward to the clubhouse tomorrow night.
Well, looking forward to the clubhouse, absolutely, everyone. So tomorrow night, of course, that clubhouse is in session with Commander R.M. Briggs and the great Chief Engineer Mark D. with a C. Please join us. We're reviewing some more Tales of Tomorrow and UFO and other fun stuff. That is Jerry Anderson's UFO, the show, not like real UFOs. Yep. Let's see here.
Oh, we got to watch our Tales of Tomorrow.
You do. Thursday night. I should be on tomorrow night with at 6 p.m. with Tom and the gang on Midnight's Edge After Dark with that august group there. And then Friday night at Nick Weiser's show, 8:30 p.m. His Nick Weiser Friday night comic show as always. And then, of course, Saturday night Star Trek. Same Clobby time, same Trek channel, or vice versa, same Trek time, same Clobby channel. I'm timey-wimey tonight. Yes, we have 4 more episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine getting close to the end of season 6. And our reviews of all of real Star Trek, 66 through 05, 735 Club. And with my wonderful First Officer Commander Briggs. And again, as Mark mentioned, the Geekery on Sunday night will be there. And then 6 p.m. Central on the great J-Man's channel, 7 Eastern. We're back on his channel reviewing the early days of the Legion of Superheroes, starting at the very beginning. And so I'm looking forward to that, as always. And then Mr. Jason Sandberg will be joining me again to talk about his great crowdfunded comic, Jupiter. You get links in my description below if you have not taken a look at that, checking it out. But I would appreciate it if you would go do that. And a week from then, on May 22nd, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm proud to announce that I'm going to be joined by the great Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic to do some comic shop memories with me, talking about his days working in the comic shop and my days working in the comic shop. And we're just going to have a nice visit with Gary. I want to shout out Gary to thank him so much for agreeing to do this. I'm really looking forward to it. He has been a great friend to many of us, so many of us out here, and to give of his time the way he is doing, because he's a very busy man. He's just too nice to do that, and I cannot thank him enough. And I'm humbled, and again, it's just going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that, and I want to thank everyone for being here with us tonight. The great Eric K. Eric, vibes to you out there, brother. Hope you're doing well. Chris Persia, D. Bud Martin, Lord Thoth, J-Man, Hungry Boy, Kal-El, Matty Steady, Fanty Outsider, of course, Apollome's Minion, and the Pupper, And who else is here with us this evening? Oliver Belamonte, thank you for being here. Could not be reached for further comment. Thank you so much. Retro Nerd Girl, so lovely to see you again, my dear. Thank you for being here.
Hey.
Oliver Belamonte, Brian Hepburn, Gwagnar, JT Kirk, Keely Chow, Roll That Tide, Bush Pan Down, Claude Selling, Matthew Pounder. I'm trying to shout everybody out. Don't want to miss anybody. Never like to miss anybody. So takes a second, but it's worth it. You're all worth it because you're great friends hanging out with us tonight. I think we got. Well, I always think I got everybody, don't I? My great friend Michael from Retro Blasting, buddy. I cannot thank you enough for popping in, man. It is always an honor. I want to hang with you again soon, buddy. And so I thank you. And Captain Infinity and Beyond stopped by earlier as well. Darth Scipio. Let's see who else. Dad Man and the Dad Man Clan. Thank you, Warrior of Justice. Monkey Jeebus. Thank you, buddy, for being here. Jason Sandberg, thanks again for popping in earlier, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. I think we pretty much. Oh, John Rupus. Good to see you, buddy. Pat S. Thank you, bro, for being here. And I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say now, I believe I got everybody. What is your bet?
Well, I wasn't here all night, but you always got to miss someone.
So
I'm guessing
you think I missed somebody.
Did Dad Man stop by tonight at all?
Yeah, you didn't hear me just say Dad Man?
Well, see how my memory is just so bad.
Well, I didn't miss anybody, but Mighty Orbots did just pop in. Hey there, Mighty Orbots. Good to see you there, buddy. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you. And I hope to see you here tomorrow night. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. Good night, everybody. Have a fantastic remainder of your evening.
It's Clobberin time! Clobberonimo! I just love Clobberin time!